Hi there, welcome to today's painting tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to paint a duckling with acrylic paints. So let's get started. And let's start with a size 0 round brush. I'm going to take a straight black paint and then see if we can add the round area of the eye. And as usual, if you would like to get this sketch, just find the link in the description below. And then I'm going to take a damp brush. I might try to lift up a little bit of that paint. And then let's take a little bit of white. I'm going to put a little bit of a white in the eye. And then I want to carefully go around the top and bottom to make a little bit of an eyelid. Okay, and I'm gonna take a little bit of that white paint off because I think I overdid it a little bit. And if you make any mistakes like this, you can always just try to smooth it out. Add a little bit more black paint. Then let it dry and kind of come back to it. Okay, so I'm going to stay with this round brush and let's take a burnt umber. Let's add a little bit of that to the beak. I want to have some darker shadow here in the middle. And then I want a little bit of a brim. And then let's go around the top here, just kind of outlining. And then I'm going to have a little bit, kind of some shadows down here. You can add under the neck, you can add a shadow. And then I'm going to put this area in here as a dark value. And then along the top here. Okay, and then you could add some black paint for the other eye. Let's take a little bit of black. Be careful you don't have any water drops on your brush. And we can put this little black bump as the eye. You could add a little black to the beak as well to give a little bit more definition. Okay, and now I'm going to grab a size 0 brush, but it's a little larger and a little firmer. And I'm going to take some of this burnt umber and then see if we can put in a little bit of darker values here and darker shadows. So these tail feathers in the back, we can add some dark value along with this part along the bottom. And underneath we could add a darker value as well. Okay, so now let's go back to the size 0 round. Let's add some detail to the feet. So I'm going to go around these flippers and I'm trying to build up kind of an outline of that, kind of in between where the toes are. And just try to make a little bit of shadow for those to build that form. Okay, and then while that's still kind of wet, you can take some orange paint and you can add that to the rest of the feet. And then I have a little bit of this light pastel yellow, and we can put that down the center. That can act as a little bit of a highlight. Get a little bit too much water there. So if that happens, just try to use your brush to soak up that excess water. Okay, and then let's put a little bit of yellow ochre and see if we can add this to the beak. So I'm going to add yellow ochre, and then we can take some of this pastel yellow and put that in the middle. We're working wet on wet here. And then I'm going to take a straight titanium white and add that along the beak as a highlight. Then I might take a little bit of orange and kind of put that in the mix as well. Okay, so now let's move to a mid-tone for the body. So we can let's actually spray the canvas. And then I'm going to take this yellow ochre and let's start feathering that in. Okay, so I'm being fairly loose with this area. Don't want to add too much detail. Now I'm going to take some burnt sienna, add that in as a shadow color as well. Maybe try to bring out some of the wing shapes. And fill in more of those shadow areas. Okay, so now let's focus on the head area. So I'm going to take that yellow ochre and let's see if we can kind of go around the outside of the face and kind of put in some of these mid-tone shapes. Then while that's still wet, we'll take this pale yellow. Let's put that in. Those can kind of blend together a little bit. Then go ahead and add some white paint and see if you can mix that in. We want a little bit of a highlight here and then on that cheek area as well, because that'll give it a kind of a nice round three-dimensional shape. Let's take a little bit of burnt sienna, put it along this line where the eye is. You can build a little bit of an eyebrow. Kind of bring it down here. Let that kind of work wet on wet. And try to define that cheek a little bit. Okay, and then we can take some of this light yellow and let's put that around the rest of the body. So what I might do is switch brushes again. So I have a size 4 Filbert. I'm going to take some medium here. This is the acrylic flow medium. I'm going to mix some of that light yellow in there. Then let's kind of see if we can use that to cover up the white areas so that we have a nice base color going on. Just using it like a glaze almost, covering up the whites of the paper. Okay, so we can take the zero spotter and let's take a little bit of this burnt umber. And I want to put a little bit of a shadow on these feet, just underneath the feet or underneath the leg. or underneath the body, where the body and the leg are attached. Put a little shadow there. I can emphasize some more of these other shadows in between the webs. Okay, so I think that's looking good. Kind of step back at this point and look at your work. See what you might want to adjust. And then what I'm going to do is I have this other Filbert that has the texture to it. The Filbert Grainer, I think is how you pronounce it. And let's take a little bit of titanium white. Kind of tap off the excess and see if that will give you some nice kind of feather texture. There's a few little spots where he's just got some kind of hairs going in different directions. Okay, so I'm going to take that zero spotter and I'm going to take a little bit of titanium white. Get just the right amount of paint on your brush for this, and then go back and see if you can add that little spot. And then I'm going to try to put a little bit of a curve there. Okay, so I might need to clean it up again. Okay, but I think that looks all right. So now you could take a size for Filbert, you can take some straight yellow. It's a really nice bright yellow color. And you could just add this in some certain areas that you want to really highlight or make pop. Okay. I might add a little bit more white to certain areas. Okay, so just kind of go around and adjust your values here. Add more light or dark to whatever areas you think might need it. Okay, but I think we will call this done for now. Again, you can kind of adjust it to your liking and add any refinement that you would like. But we will call this tutorial complete for now. I hope you get a chance to paint along with me. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye.